This is intake, this is my JDM 300ZX, and this is my JDM can of Sapporo. Take note, Sapporo Australia, this is how you serve a beer. 500 mils of pure deliciousness. Oh, that's fantastic. You know what the best part is? It's not even 10 o'clock in the morning here. Oh, that tastes so much better than the stuff we buy in the shops here. I think even the can looks nice here, man. Like a big white can. You open up your fridge, massive white can sitting in the middle there. You're like, gee, I'm gonna have that beer. That's why people drink a lot of milk. Big white thing sitting in the middle, all the milk's gone. White can of Sapporo, exactly the same. It's fucking freezing out here, and this can's really cold. It makes the beer super delicious too. We could pretty much just do 15 minutes of talking about this can of beer rather than talking about this car. It's a bit richer than the Australian bottles of Sapporo. More of a heavier taste to it. It's a fuller beer than the watered down cat piss that is Australian Sapporo. I can say that because Sapporo refuses to give me any beers for the show. Might even just switch to Asahi. So put that out there. Comment below, Asahi or Sapporo. Today on intake, I'm gonna fight myself to put this can down. Wax on, wax off. That's not gonna work there, is it? All right, and we've got some more JDM-ness here. Recently, I purchased something from Seven Tune. No, it's not this piece of cardboard. Just fuck that off. So, those of you who know Seven Tune, which is probably everyone in the world who is into Japanese cars, it's a website, Facebook page and whatnot that does some Japanese car articles and whatnot. And recently he started selling collectibles. So I purchased, I'm going to be very careful with this because it's in mint condition, radioactive man. 1989-1990 Nissan Sports Fairlady Z, which is this car, sales brochure, which is pretty sweet. And like every good book, it's got fold outs. But that's not all I purchased. And also to go along with that sales catalogue, I purchased these, it's like it's the same shit. It's the same thing as the sales catalogue, but it's in card format. This could possibly even be my car. Mine is an 89 model. It's near the start of the run, one of the first ones made. That could be it. Probably not, but one could only dream. Enough of the boring nostalgic stuff. I didn't buy these in Japan. They were sent over. I flew over the top of the boat that brought these back. Thanks to Adam at Seven Tune, who did a nice thing to send those over with some stickers. You all know how I feel about stickers, so they're going straight on the car. On the cars, one can go on Subaru. So I'm going to put these somewhere safe. All I need now is the owner's manual, which I am bidding on Yahoo Japan. It's going to be a pain in the ass to go on because it's black. Yeah, sweet stickers though. Those who are interested in buying some catalogues and stuff for your old JDM, your nostalgic Japanese 90s supercar, I will post a link in the belowness and you can click there and purchase from the Seven Tune collectibles. I will put these on later. I need some more of this. Oh, fantastic. So we're not here to fuck spiders, we're not here to read magazines. We got something else in the mail and it's something that's actually useful. This come from RSG Performance, which is based in Queensland, Australia. They do 300 ZXs almost exclusively, Z32s. And this is an underbody tray thing, which we'll open up in a minute. When we did our HKS intercooler upgrade, which we'll post a link in this bottom corner of the window here. If I can do that, I don't know how to do that. Somebody in the comments said that we made our car shit by removing the aerodynamic plate underneath. That piece of plastic was broken and shit house, so we fucked it right off. So we've got a metal one. which is really well wrapped actually. I was going to make one of these and do a how to make one, but it turns out that it's cheaper to be able to buy a proper one than what it is to make it. There's steam coming out. It's fucking freezing here. I will get my knife and I'll be right back. I have a knife. Oh wow. Actually really thought this was just like a flat plate. Like, well, with a little bit of a bend. I love these braking noises. I need more knife action. Always cut away from yourself. Hot tip for the day, never cut towards yourself, you lose a finger. And that is why I didn't make it myself. This is really impressive. This only cost me $150 delivered, Australian. For the Americans out there, that's about $3.50, about $3.50. The exchange rate's phenomenal, isn't it? But wait, that's not all, because it comes with hardware. Just remove that. So today on Intake, we are going to install this underbody shield duct plate. And that's going to be about a one big beer job. Oh. Probably 2 beers for those playing along at home with the Australian sized beers. Yeah. Jesus. What's up my ass? It was the trim off the fucking window. Nick put that on. So like any project on this car, this one just became infinitely harder. Infinitely is the word of the day. There is a broken off nut, a broken off bolt inside of the thread where this plate goes to up in the car there. And it's obviously broken off because it's seized, so I'm not going to be able to tap it out. Which means I have to drill it out. If I drill it out, I'm 100% certain, because there'll be like a high tensile thing, that I'll have fucked the thread, that the new bolts that hold the plate going up into here, it'll be fucked. It will not work. For those playing along at home, yours will still be a 2 beer job. Mine's going to be a couple more, I think. This is really annoying. I'll start with a screwdriver and a hammer and try and tap it out. That's really depressing to come home to. You go to work on a car, you come home, you go, oh, I love my car, I'm going to work on it, and then bam, you get hit in the balls with the giant stick. It says, fuck you, you can't do this the easy way. I did happen to see a Z32 while I was at my mate's workshop in Nagoya, getting an RB26 put into it. So here we are at DaddyMotor Works, and we've got a Z32, because Z32s are awesome. But this one is completely fucking different to most sets. Ooh. Maybe I should do that. It didn't look that difficult. There's an R32 RB26 motor, R34 accessories onto the motor, which is maybe just refreshing it. R33 size radio that's sort of mounted on the slant, similar to my HKS intercool system here. I think it kept the transmission as well. They had to belt out the tunnel to fit transmission in. All fabricated in-house. DaddyMotor Works. DaddyMotor Works in the Aichi prefecture. Okazaki? Zingo. Cool dudes, cool place. So what I'm just trying to do is just drill the pilot hole for this reverse bit that, what do you call these, easy outs? It's like a game of fucking, what's that, Twister, it's like a game of Twister in here. But I don't think this drill bit's sharp enough, which is, it just looks burnt on the end, so obviously somebody's used it for something. Probably my wife. We might have to go to the shop and get a drill bit. Hang on. Surely I've got a drill bit. So we've just been down the shop, we've purchased a drill bit, drilled out a hole for this broken bolt. Next step is we've got to remove these 3 bolts at the back here. Hopefully none of them snap. 1, 2. Oh. Oh no! There is water coming in everywhere. It's fucking freezing, it's pissing down with rain. The only good thing about today is that it keeps your beer cold. Like, this thing's probably been open for a bit of time because we've been fucking around. Oh, still as good as the moment I opened it. It's gonna go up like that. I had heaps of stuff I was gonna do today on the cars, but this rain's sort of scaring me off. It's coming through into inside. I'm actually laying on a bed of water. There's nothing nice about any of this. You know what we might do? Let's take the car out and do some skids. We've got like 300 extra horsepower in this wet. I just need to make sure that I've cut this thread properly. That's what I was afraid of. I'll get it up, I'm getting wet. This is fucked. Gonna do these up by hand. They're hex head. Nice and shiny. Everything looks pretty good under here. It's amazing, like this car is like nearly 30 years old. There's no oil coming down. The exhaust, the front half of the exhaust is completely crushed. We'll be replacing that soon. That looks fucked. Oh fuck. Enough water there to sink the Titanic, or an R33. It's a joke about boats. Although I honestly don't think there's much of a problem with an R33 Skyline, they're not that heavy. Right, now we've got one issue. Just that bolt there. Need a higher tensile bolt to cut that thread. Nope. Oh no. So now that our underbody tray thing is on, and that was an absolute bitch of a job, what happened was there was one screw that had snapped off and an old bolt that had snapped off. We drilled it out, used an easy out, which didn't really drill it out because the bolt was soft. Basically, it just pushed the easy out up and into the hole. Look, ugly dudes, you know how hard it is to get to nut inside the hole. That's how hard it was for me. So there's a 10mm nut. The 10mm nut had to go up in the hole, and just on the edge of it, you had to hold it in place and screw up inside of it. You're getting your fingers all up in the hole. So long story short, the plate is on. We've got some mad aerodynamics underneath. It shouldn't have been that hard. If you've got a reasonably clean car at home, you've got no broken nuts, no broken bolts in there, you probably get this job done in the space of 5 minutes. We started, what did I say earlier when I had that one beer? It was like before 10 o'clock. It's like 2 o'clock now. It's been like 4 hours. We've been piss farting around, having a great time. And that pretty much wraps up this episode. Or not, because we've probably got about 5 minutes of footage here, so let's do something on the Subaru. I've forgotten how difficult this was the first time around. Yep. So before I put the Z away and get the Subaru out, the WRX 911 Lancia Stratos Quadro Porte, I don't know, what are we calling that car now? WRX 911. I've got this 7-tune sticker, which I love stickers. Every sticker makes an extra 5 horsepower. Anyone who's anyone knows that. I wonder what kind of sticker. Oh, it is double-sided. Alright, so peel that off. I don't know how this is going to go on the dark windows, but this is... Oh, I tell you what, it's near invisible. Stealth, that's what it is. It's a stealth sticker. Adam at 7's Tune, if you're watching, we need some light-coloured ones that'd be fantastic. Although, I appreciate you slipping these into my parcel, because I do like them. It's got a bit of a glisten on it. Sort of like holographic carbon fibre. So we had heaps to do on Project Z today, but because of the rain, we couldn't do really much of anything. As you can see, it's pissing down outside, it's wet, it's super freezing, and the floor is saturated. The rain's coming through the door. We can't close it because there is no door, it's just an opening. So what we're going to do instead is work on the WRX 911. The reason we're going to do that is because we have purchased everything for this car. And I'll give you a rundown on what that's going to cost us. We haven't got it delivered yet, it's still in customs, and you guys can see exactly what kind of money we've spent and what that buys you from Yahoo auction bid in Japan, and see if it's any good or not. Promise you it's under the 2 grand of the total of the car. So what we're going to do today is do a bit of weight saving. This is a very sort of decisive topic, very divisive topic, because we're going to install a pod filter. You guys saw us unbox that HKS mushroom filter last episode, I think it was, and today we're going to fuck off all of this plastic shit, do some mad weight saving, and get a bigger intake into the motor, which is not really going to be a bigger intake because we're using this part of this thing here. We're going to try and keep it looking as neat as we can. First thing we're going to do is unclip the airbox. There's 2 of these clips. That one's already undone. Undo this hose clamp here. Once it's loose, it starts to spin. And once those are undone, we can fuck this airbox right off. Well, the lid of it at least. The old air filter can get pissed off as well. And then there's 2 bolts beside the airbox that we're going to undo. So with the 2 bolts removed, you can fuck this airbox right off. Okay, just like that. Oof. So you can see what we're looking at here. There's a bit of a duct. So the air comes in, goes in and around and through the thing. But because this is no longer going to be an enclosed airbox, this isn't going to be doing any sucking. It's only there that's pushed in through the thing, which is fuck all. So let's just piss all this off as well and have the air come straight up through the guard, through this hole here, and straight into the, should be, like I said, like, this is either going to give you like 300 horsepower or absolutely nothing. It's going to be nothing, but it's going to look cool, and it's a sports accessory. Young kids put it on their car all the time. It's sporty. It's like the Helotone horns. Nobody needs them. They don't do anything. But we're going to do it anyway. Need to undo these 2 bolts. These 2 bolts, not that bolt. And like without all this stuff in there, it's going to be heaps cleaner. And like, it'll weigh less, that's good. It's like Homer Simpson and the frozen yogurt. The Krusty doll, remember that? The Krusty doll? Each Krusty doll comes with frozen yogurt. Oh, that's good. The yogurt is also cursed. Oh, that's bad. This is like that, like, it comes with weight saving. Oh, that's good. It probably does nothing. Oh, that's bad. It might make your engine hotter. Oh, but it won't. I promise you. All the naysayers will be like, it's picking up the hot air from the headers. Guess what? The headers are underneath the motor. The stock pipe goes over the top of the head anyway. The question was going to be asked of the viewers, I want to comment below, the 300ZX, do I keep the 1989 model front bar I'll get a new one, obviously. Or do I get the year 2000 model front bar? Because I'm nearly ready to get the car painted and the bars crash, so it has to be replaced. Tell me what I should do. There's a number of third-party, like aftermarket front bars as well. I could get one of those. This bolt isn't doing anything. I don't even know why I've put it back in. Probably just to fill the hole. I'm just really trying to force this out through the hole. Like I forced things through the hole earlier, now I'm trying to make it go the other way. That's where the cold air comes in now. I'll smash it off. So just like that, we've fucked off the airbox that was inside the guard. Now we've got a nice big port there to let the cold air come up and in through the pipe. So now that we've emptied the space inside the engine bay, we are ready to probably give this a little bit of a clean before we put the new airbox in. Like that's the main thing. Like sports cars are clean, they're tidy. They've got pod filters apparently, as we've just decided now. Just using a bit of the old auto glims. It's good enough for the Queen. It's good enough for her subjects. That'll do. That's cleaner than it was. So what we need to do now is put it together. So you guys saw us unbox this HKS pod filter. Since then we have bought a pipe from Autobarns, Super Cheap Auto, whatever. This one came from Autobarns. It was like 20 bucks, I think. And this little bracket, which I bent into position because I have pre-sorted this out. Otherwise I would just be swearing non-stop on camera. No one wants to see that. You might think you do. So that's just gonna go in there like that, onto that pipe there. So we use the bolt that was holding on the airbox in the original hole there. That'll keep it nice and secured. If we were really worried about hot air, what we could do, and might do, is just put a plate there so it sort of makes its own box and it would seal up against the bonnet. I'm not worried about hot air because the GT86 or BRZ is just a bag of hot air. And this is quite obviously the more superior vehicle now, especially with its sweet sports intake. Make sure that you tighten all the bolts to spec, which is about there. All right, now we just got to do up that hose clamp. So now we can see the air comes through these holes here because I said so, scientifically proven by my opinion, up into the pod filter, through this pipe where it goes, and then into the box. Now what makes this more superior than the factory airbox, which Subaru invested millions of dollars developing, is the sucking noise. And let's see how that sounds now. Woo. Did you hear that noise at the end there? That's what it's all about. It sucks harder than your ex-girlfriend. Say that, you take that however you like. I wasn't necessarily making comment on the fellatio ratio, more to how much she sucks, and that's why you dumped her. So now that we've created a possible more hot air in, we need to keep hot air out. So let's take the engine cover off because engine covers hold air into position. What I'm gonna have to do next, really, is get like a piece of pipe, like a ducting pipe, that I can put directing from down there into that deal. A custom intake branded pipe, an intake pipe if you will. So now we take that off, and it's actually quite ugly, isn't it? Well, that's not, we could tidy it up. You know how usually we got like the installation is reverse of the removal? Well, we're not doing the installation, we just done the removal this time. So there's no real reversing, is there? We'll do these bolts up, which is probably pointless because I think what we'll do is just take this off. Be careful with that alternator cable because it's alive on the manifold. We need to tidy this up. It doesn't look like a sports car there, it looks like something that we just removed the cover off. It looks shit house. And that bracket. The greaser. No, this is going to do anything at all. Just want it to look nicer. I did get a new radiator cap. Turns out this didn't have a blown head gasket yet. Just had a damaged radiator cap, which is good. Sometimes just giving your engine bay a bit of a clean makes a bit of a difference. Like especially when the day's been as disappointing as today has been. We haven't been able to do anything we really wanted to do. I don't know what this quick detail is, but like that does a good job of taking all that shit off. I'm not here to detail engine bays and tell you about how to do it. If you want to do that, there's a great video by Chris Fix, who does some good engine bay detailing of a Mustang. So just be careful that it doesn't hit you while you're cleaning it. I just want to make this look half decent. Like, I think that's probably one thing that these engines don't have going for them. They're not attractive. That's why they've got massive engine covers on them. What I'm doing, I'm just taping this up, which is actually harder than it looks. How do you get the tape through? Oh, I really should take that off. Just because the tape was all busted, what I'll do, I'll run some out. Just like that. Like that. Got the supercharger up front. So it's the end of today's episode. We've done some work on the 300ZX. That was infuriating. I was so pissed off about that. All we should have done was bolt 4 bolts in, and because one bolt was stripped and snapped, we had to tap it out and drill it out. And anyway, I'm not going to sleep well tonight. We've done some work on the WRX 911 because we like to please everyone here by working on 2 cars the same day. Where we're at with this car is we have purchased everything that we need for the project. Now we obviously have the car that was $600. We bought wheels, we bought brakes, we bought seats. We've done stupid stuff like this grille, these horns, and the, what's it called? Hot air intake, cold air, the pod filter. But we also have an invoice on my phone which I have paid from Import Monkey, which is a import place based out of Sydney who buy stuff for you from Yahoo Auctions or cars and ship them into your country. Yeah, he always does a great job. Barton, the guy that runs that, always looks after me, always follows up on the bids that I place. So we have purchased from Yahoo Auctions an STI strut brace, bolts onto here, bolts onto there. There's a bar that goes across. It'll match our sweet intake thing quite nicely. We have purchased some 10, same coilovers that are on our 300ZX. They're green and they're mean and they let your car go really down low. We also have purchased a exhaust system and some JDM's legacy floor mats because I've got no floor mats in this and I like to drive it and keep my carpet nice and clean. All those items were $394.92, which that brings us to $1,620 for everything on this car, including all those items. What does $394.92 buy you from Yahoo Auctions? Quality, brokenness, second-handness. Well, they're all second-hand. You will have to wait until the next episode where we unbox all that stuff once it clears customs. And we get it here and you can see exactly what that kind of money will get you. It's probably busted assed and the suspension's shot out and the floor mats have got holes in them and the strut brace is snapped in half, and they also get a muffler, it's probably rusted. They're probably all fucked. But we have spent $400 on all those things, which means that this car will soon be complete and be the BRZ Beta that it should be. Bathurst, watch your back. BRZ, Bathurst, out back. other B words, even though Outback's not a B word. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to comment below. We want to know your thoughts on the 300ZX front bar. Standard, a 1989 issue, year 2000 issue, aftermarket something or other. Don't want to get any of those Stingray shark nose ones from the early 2000s. They look shithouse. We want to know your thoughts on hot cold air intake, the Katy Perry pod filter, the hot in your cold and yes in your nose. Is that going to work? It's cold. There's cold air. There's a hole. There is a hole there. Anyway, I'm going to the pub. I may be sometime. Ha ha ha!